Hello, friends. We are back again. We had a slight technical issue. We are back again, friends. We start with this beautiful question, getting to know about the childhood as to how ma'am was when she was a little kid. Was she the mischievous one or the very shy one? Yes, ma'am, over to you. Would you like to share your childhood with us as to how you were as a little kid?
I think I've always been a very extroverted person. Even as a child, I think I was very talkative. It was always very easy for me to make friends. I would just go around, talk to everybody. I mean, my parents can attest to that. My parents, and I used to be very naughty as well. I was not one who would abide by the rules. I remember these incidences where like my mom would love to take naps, like how Bengalis love to take naps after lunch, after having rice. I could never sleep. I was always like staying awake, and I was just trying to see, how I could do things without my mother knowing. So I would just go to the kitchen, eat a Bonvita straight away, powder Bonvita, powder Horlicks, and keep everything intact as if like my mom would never find out. Like one of the instances, I think my dad says this a lot. Like I have an elder brother. So when he went to the school for the first time, he cried a lot. He used to cry every time my parents would leave him in the school. And so my dad was expecting the same with me. And the first time he dropped me off, I said like, "Bye, Dad. I'm a little daddy's princess." So I was like, "Bye, Dad." And I just went off. And I did not, my dad was like, I was waiting for her to like come back or cry, or like I was waiting for you to at least look back, and you just did not care. You just went away and started chatting with other kids and like sharing stories and like not even like care. So I think that I'm still that person, I would say. It's easy for me to make friends, and yeah.
I mean, that's a gift. People having this type of a quality, bonding quickly with others, and creating that beautiful network of getting to know people. And you had this gift right from childhood. Yes.
I
You
think it has come very handy in my profession.
Very true, very true. Dear ma'am, what about you connecting with your neighbors? Like, were you able to, not only at school, were you able to bond with your neighbors as well? After coming.
I think I get along fine with all age groups since a childhood. I think I would like just like so my parents they shifted, so we are not native of Kolkata, so we shifted from a district. Like I was born and raised in Kolkata, so my parents they used to be more like reserved, I would say, and I was the one who would go around to everybody's house and I would be like, "Hey, I live in this flat, can I come in?" And I remember I had this ritual where I would go to my neighbor's house and watch serials with them. So I used to watch all the Shakalaka Boom Boom, Son Pari at my neighbor's house. So I had lovely, lovely memories of my neighbors, and they used to love me a lot. And I think I kind of grew up in a very loving community in a very healthy way, I would say, even though I grew up in a city.
Yes, dear. That's really nice, ma'am. Son Pari and Shakalaka Boom Boom, all of these were very interesting ones. Dear ma'am, what is the one thing that you like about yourself?
Uh, I think I would say my resilience and my kindness. I think I do try and treat people the way I would like to be treated. I always keep that in mind that uh, we do not know what a person is going through at the moment, what life is throwing at them. So maybe maybe we should all be a little bit more kind and understanding towards others, in our everyday approach. Yeah.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, there's a very big question in my mind. Like, is it easy for a woman to become a lawyer? Is it tough? Because see, we have all lawyers from different genders, like all the genders are the female, the male, as well as the third gender, all of them. Being a woman, was it that easy for you, or did you find anything difficult?
I think I would say the legal profession is still predominantly male, especially our Calcutta High Court. It is still very, very predominantly male. Uh, but it is definitely easier for me than my predecessors. but there's so much hurdle to come, like to face for women lawyers. I'm just trying to think of, um, it's just not easy because you have to work twice as hard and you are questioned twice as much. Your skills are often equated with your looks. What you do in your personal life is always up for debates and discussions. Uh, Whether you are wearing makeup or not, or you're not wearing makeup, the length of your dress, the length of your trouser, how tight your clothes are always up for discussions. I think that is not something my male colleagues have to face. Or also there's this always this question, especially with criminal lawyers, I think it comes like whether a woman is capable of doing these cases. There's always this doubt, and you have to work twice and thrice as hard to debunk these theories, like, okay, yes, I am good enough, I have to behave in a certain way, I have to act in a certain manner, I have to speak in a certain manner, I have to be polite enough, but I have to be strong enough. This all these things that come together. It's this intersectionality when you are a woman in a legal profession. And definitely it doesn't get easier because people just expect you to be like, oh, they will get married and they will leave the profession, and these kind of notions that people just assume about women in law.
Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing. That's really very nice that you shared
Yeah.
something that's a reality too. There's a lot of truth with in what you've just been sharing now. Because most of them, they think it's a rosy picture, but no profession is that easy. There are lots of ups and downs. You just have to face all the strong winds, and then you have to survive that situation. Dear ma'am, we'd like
Yeah.
to ask you, do you get time to watch movies apart from all the work that you are into?
Sorry, come again. Do I
Do you
get to
get time
watch?
to watch movies? Movies. Am I
Ah,
audible?
very rarely. Yeah, sorry, you were breaking up. Yes, I mean very rarely, but yeah, I do watch, I do watch maybe Netflix, maybe one movie in a week or so. Sometimes I do go out with my friends in the movies. I think I went last month or month before that. I can't remember, but sometimes yes, I do. I do. I love watching movies and series, even though I don't get a lot of time to do that anymore. But that is one of the things that I enjoy to unwind, I would say.
Yes, dear. I'm reminded of a movie called as Provoked. Have you watched that movie, ma'am?
Provoked. It does sound familiar, but I can't recall. I used to watch so many movies, but there's this thing about me, is possibly because I'm an extrovert and I do so many things.
Yes.
I tend to forget. I don't remember movies. Like if I see one scene, I would remember what happens next. Otherwise, my mind just like goes blank unless it's like it has made a really, really hard impact on me. I don't remember movies.
I
I don't
understand.
know if it's a blessing, my mind making space for other things to come.
Very true. Even I accept this fact, when I can't remember certain things or when certain things don't get registered, it's really a blessing because you
Yeah.
get something new to
Yeah,
encounter and you can
true.
remember the new ones. Ma'am, this movie called as Provoked is a wonderful movie where the role of
Okay.
a lawyer and a prisoner, a social worker, all of them are involved. And as you work with prisoners, as you are, dealing with the correctional homes and you've been working for a few of them and freeing few of them, as
Yeah.
members you've mentioned that earlier. In this movie also, there is one Indian who is being targeted and arrested,
Oh, okay.
and then she's been freed. And this happened in Canada or something. It's something related to domestic violence, where her husband is dead. I mean, she holds a lamp, and the lamp falls on the bed where he sleeps, and then he's entirely burnt.
Oh,
And so they blame her for it.
yes.
So now I'd like to ask you, do you even deal with domestic violence cases, or is it what can people approach you for that too?
Yes, yes, of course I do. I mean, that is one of the biggest aspect in criminal law, domestic 498A cases. I obviously deal with those. I deal with all kind of criminal cases, not just domestic violence cases, murder cases, rape cases. There's protection of children from sexual assault cases. Then there are other like PMLA cases. We deal with all kinds of cases. Domestic violence cases are actually very, very prevalent and very common these days. Not always true, but a lot of times, most of the times, it is true. It is also sometimes being weaponized against the like the in-laws, the husband and the in-laws, uh, because it is definitely a law that favors the woman. Um, and I see a lot of men complaining about that, like, oh my God, all the laws, all the Indian laws are made for women, but I think they forget why these laws were made in the first place, because women are still very, very marginalized. And still, if you look at the rural areas, like the kind of freedom that I have, they don't even have 1% of it. They do not have a voice. So it is, the laws were made to give those women a voice, some kind of protection, because until unless they are equals, they cannot be treated equally. We have to reach that equity, and you cannot say that women are equal to men. Even now, we are far from it. Even urban women are far from being equal to men. So yeah, domestic violence cases. But yes, as a lawyer, I have dealt with like domestic violence cases. I have also dealt with cases where I'm for the accused and also where I'm for the complainant as well. So it's a very interesting take, I would say, as a lawyer, to see, because you do not get personal with your cases. You see it, what the law says, and how it's best to defend your client.
Yes, dear. Ma'am, one of the known person, she said that she knows you very well. She's an acid attack victim. And she says, yeah,
Oh, okay.
I know Afreen ma'am. So do you also work for acid attack victims too?
Yes. I think I have worked for two of them till now. I think one was not getting compensation, and the other one was, there was a criminal revision pending. That is another thing that I worked with. Yes, two of them, I would say.
And she very happily messaged me today and she said, ma'am, I know her very well. She's a nice person. She's an acid attack.
I'm glad to hear that. I feel like I'm very, in my professional approach, I'm very straightforward and strict, I feel like, because as I mentioned, I'm very, very different in my personal life and my professional life. I feel like probably because I'm a woman in law, I feel like I have to be more stricter and more straightforward, uh, and not entertaining in that way. So I'm much more straightforward with my clients. I'm like, I'm sorry, this does not work this way. This is what the law says. I'm not going to give you any kind of false hopes, because that does not really help. I cannot get your expectation up and say things that just won't be true. I'll give it to you the reality. I'll give you the reality check, because it does take a lot of time. There are times when things won't go your way. You have to be patient and a lot of things. So I feel like my clients might not think that I'm a nice person. So it's a relief hearing that, I would say. I do not come across as rude.
Yes, you're a nice person, ma'am. And the point is you just deal with facts and, being honest and letting them know the facts than giving them false hope.
Yeah, so comes across as insensitive and rude, because when people, it is not personal to me, it is my professional life, but to them it's personal, because their cases is, it is personal to them, and it is involving a lot of emotions for them. So when they are coming to me and they are telling me, let's say, their story, and they see me not sympathizing with it, of course I empathize, but not in I when I'm hearing a story as a lawyer, all I'm thinking is like, oh, this is how I can defend my client, this is the strategy that I'm going to take. I'm not exactly thinking like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you went through this, I'm really sorry that you had to feel this way, because that is me in personal life, that is not me as an advocate. And I think as an advocate, you also have to look at things objectively. You cannot be very emotional. But your clients don't want that from you. Your clients want that warmth from you, which I feel like I sometimes cannot give, because I feel like it is not my place to give you that warmth. I can the warmth won't really help you in legally, So yeah, I think that might come across as rude.
I appreciate that skill in you, ma'am, that quality in you, because it's better to kill with the truth, you know, than to protect somebody with anything that is false. You know, this beautiful
Yeah.
quotation is there. Kill them if you want to
Yeah.
kill them with the truth, but not with anything else.
Yeah.
I just can't get the whole
False hope,
perspective.
yes.
Yes, false hope. So that's really nice to have somebody as honest as that, like you know, you say what is to be said. As you said, the warmth will not help you, and the legal system has another path, and connecting with you is quite different.
Yes.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, is it easy for one person who, irrespective of gender, who has completed law in India, could they get a chance to work as a lawyer and advocate in other countries too? Is that?
No, actually, so basically, since law is different, like law varies from country to country, it is actually very difficult. Like, it's so easy for engineers I see settling in other countries and working. Unfortunately, law is not like that, especially criminal law. Corporate law, business law, it's still somewhat okay. You can work as a job because you're not practicing there. You're doing a job. So that is fine. But when you are practicing as a lawyer, it's not at all easy to go and work in another country. You need to pass their bar, you need to know their laws, you need certain designations, and you need to pass certain tests. And there's a lot of um, red tapes involved, to be very honest. Like if I wanted to practice in, let's say, United Kingdom, I would have to do their diploma course, so that because my law degree here is not recognized over there. It's just a graduate degree. So I have to do a conversion course, and then I have to choose either whether I want to be a solicitor or a barrister and do another course. And then only if I pass the bar, then I can practice. So it's very, very difficult. It takes a lot of time, and it makes sense because laws everywhere is different. So that comes in.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, apart from your profession, as a student, we talk now about it now. Were you interested in sports and games?
Sports, I won't say I played a lot of sports. I was really into gymnastics. I was very good at it. Um, I love watching football. I'm a Real Madrid fan. So I'm surrounded with lots of brothers. I do not have sisters, so I'm surrounded by brothers all the time. So I watch a lot of football, I would say, especially with them. So they got me into it. I used to play cricket because, again, I did not have sisters, so I would just do what my brothers were doing. So yeah, other than that, I don't. Yeah, it was mostly in law school. It was mostly debates and moot courts, competitions, extempores, and stuff like that, and little bit of fashion show here and there. Other than that, not a lot of sports or games, unfortunately for me.
Yes, dear. You said cricket. You played cricket too, and
Yes,
now football too. You said, right? If I would ask you now, who is your
yes, I watch football.
favorite footballer?
Um, Ramos, I would say he's a legend. He's a Real Madrid legend. He's a Spanish player. He's my definitely my favorite player. Yes.
And if it's cricket, who's your favorite one?
Cricket. Cricket is interesting. I would say, I mean, I'm kind of partial towards Saurav Ganguly because he's from, Bengal. I grew up watching him play. I know he was at the peak of his career when I was growing up, like with the World Cup, and like he did some, like we all remember his taking off his shirt and doing that in Lords. So yeah, I would say Saurav Ganguly.
Dear ma'am, when you wanted to become a lawyer, when you decided to go into this beautiful profession, enter into this profession, did your family hold you back? I mean, your dad said, okay, you're going for it. I mean, there'll be a traditional belief that women shouldn't go for it. And as you have many brothers, up with you? Did they all stop you or advise you or suggest some other profession?
No, no, I think my family is uh, very liberal. They have been very liberal with me, at least. I have never felt like I couldn't do anything that my elder brother was allowed to do. I think I got more freedom than my elder brother, to be very honest. Since my third year in college, I was interning. I was returning home at, let's say, 11 or 12 at night, because that is the life of a lawyer. Even now, I sometimes come home at 12. And my parents were surprisingly okay with it. Even when I said that I wanted to go abroad and study. Nobody in my family has ever done that, but my dad supported me throughout. He was like, if that is what you want to do, then you go do it. And like, I travel of everywhere. Even now, like, I've been to 19 countries. So my dad is always very supportive of my dreams and what I want to do. I'm in that way, I would say. A lot of women, you know, are not as lucky as me, and they have to give up on their dreams because of that. That is, yeah.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. Now, I'd like to ask you this question. Like, what is it that we need to see in the world? Which area needs to be changed?
I think our ability to empathize, I think I would like to mention, like, right now we know that there is this um, genocide going on, let's say, in Palestine. That is something so clear. Like, we as a kid, like when we were reading history, and we would see what Hitler did to, what Nazis to Germany and the Jewish people, and we were thinking, like, we would question ourselves, like, how could we as a world let that happen? Like, what was the world doing when a genocide was taking place? There was concentration camps, uh, and now, being an adult and witnessing that exact same thing going on, and still so many countries supporting the country inflicting that genocide, the occupying country. I mean, it is the trend. The colonizers would support colonizers. The British did the exactly same thing to us. The French did the same thing to Morocco and so many African countries. And these are the countries that you see USA standing up for Israel now, who is clearly, even the International Court of Justice has said that a genocide is taking place, are clearly supporting genocide. I think we as humans, we as the citizens of this world need to be more empathetic, because the only thing that separates us and those Palestinians is luck and our birth. It could have very easily been us in their place. That's the only thing separating us from them, from their situation and our situation. We were just lucky enough to be born in a place that is peaceful, where we do not have to think about dying every second. If people understood that, I think people would be more empathetic towards each other.
Yes, dear. You have beautiful thoughts, ma'am, and you're very, very, polite and humble. And because you understand the depth of life, and as you said, no dying every moment. And we are lucky that we are
Yes,
born here, and that's really nice. And
yes,
we should thank our stars that we are in a good country, and
true,
we hope that everything goes well in the near future and as well as in the deep future. I think,
true.
after a few years or many years, it should be like this. We should be in peace. And I feel the war is just uh, uncalled for.
Definitely. I think a lot of the times we humans, we sometimes become so selfish within ourselves, selfish regarding um, our community, our religion, our statehood, our nationality. We just forget that the boundaries did not exist 50 years ago. We did not even need visas to go somewhere. It was all open. It is all man-made concepts. This country, this nationality thing, these visas, there should not be any borders, because God created us all equals. We should be able to go everywhere, wherever we want. So hoarding of wealth, uh, we live in a world where billionaires are getting richer, where one billionaire can eradicate poverty, but nobody questions him. but there are there's millions of people dying because they do not have food 2 times. I know that is so unequal and unfair. And this just sometimes we like politicians, even though they have that power to make a difference, they do not care because they grew up in a space where they were taught that hoarding of wealth and taking care of their family is what matters, and they do not see beyond that there are other people. If we all as a community, if we all came together and distributed wealth and lived together in harmony like we did thousands of years ago, like our ancestors did, then we would be living in a much better place, living in a much more peaceful world where there was war is unnecessary.
Yes, ma'am. You have beautiful thoughts, ma'am. That's really very nice. Much appreciated. Dear ma'am, if you weren't in this legal profession, which other profession you would have chosen?
I think I would probably have been a travel blogger. I think traveling is one of my passions. I travel every opportunity that I get. Yes, I that is where all my money goes, to be very honest. Traveling, meeting new people, learning about new cultures is something that I really, really enjoy. Like just getting to know other people, their thoughts. You get to learn so much. Um, you might not always agree, but there's definitely something to learn from every conversation that you have, learning about people's life, their experiences. It opens up your mind, it gives you a fresh perspective on things. Definitely, I think traveling is something that is very, very important. Traveling not just to see, but traveling to see the world through local people's lenses, to see and experience thing is what I would say definitely is something that I love, something I would probably and would have enjoyed.
Like, is you prioritize solo traveling, or it's like a business travel, or maybe it's with family?
I usually travel with friends. I have tried solo traveling, but I ended up stranded in an unknown city in Belgium overnight with no way to return home, return back. So yeah, solo traveling is off for a while, but yeah, I do enjoy all kind of traveling. It doesn't matter who I'm traveling with as long as I'm traveling, but I prefer traveling with a friend because then I have these memories that I shared with somebody, and it makes the bond special. When I look back, when I go back and look back at flashback at things, I remember that there was this person next to me, and it's just always better. I think it makes the experience much more nicer, and your pictures come out very nice as well.
Very true, very true. Yeah. That's really nice. Thank you for sharing, ma'am. Ma'am, maybe know your thoughts on mental health.
Yes, mental health is definitely one of the things that is, I think we need to work on a lot. When I was growing up, there was nothing called mental health. Nobody really cared about mental health, and I really learned about more about mental health in UK. I would say they are much more serious. There are mental health breaks, and there are supports, there is therapy and everything. But I also feel like in India, because we live in a community system, we still have people that we rely on, our friends, our family. So I feel like we are in a much better position mentally, I would say, than countries in the Western countries where they feel they have a lot more feeling of alone, uh, because they leave their house very early on, and they do not have rely on, which we have thankfully still now. But I think more and more, with time, I think mental health is going to be, it is a big issue right now, and it is going to be an even major issue. And I think that is something that we should be teaching kids from a very young age, how to manage mental health, how to seek help, how to ask for help, especially with the enormous amount of pressure that comes with studying, uh, doing well, especially in a country like India, where you know that there's like one job and 1 lakh people vying that job. It's do or die situation. It's survival of the fittest. I think mental health is at the lowest right now among youngsters and people growing up, especially among the Gen Zs. I see my younger brother as well. I think that is something that we should have serious talks about, and we should be taking it more seriously and give people mental health breaks, because India is one of the countries where we work the maximum hours constantly without any break.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts and views on that. And you've shared this called something as mental breaks. What could this be, if you could just clarify that for us? Because to me, it's something new.
I think mental health breaks is basically something that I learned in UK, I would say. So over there, if you are not feeling well or if you're going through certain things in personal life, you could ask for take a few days off, basically, to go away from everything and maybe just rewind or reconcile within yourselves, like what is going on, have the time to reflect back and see things from another perspective, is basically like what I would say as a mental health break, which is very, very needed. I think I'm in a profession where I do get a lot of holidays. People would say that I get holidays like schools, because we do have 1 month holiday in the during the puja vacation and 15 days holiday during the summer. But people working in the corporate sectors do not have that. Some even have like 6 days a week work week, and that's like going on forever, and they just do not have the time to just step back and look at things, just reconsider themselves. And I think that is very, very important to have that break, allow people to have a breather.
Yes, dear. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing that. Thank you very much for clarifying that question very clearly. Ma'am, do you have a nice suggestion for all of the youngsters who decide, who may decide to enter into the legal field and become lawyers and even dream of becoming a judge and maybe the Chief Justice of India too? Any suggestion for all the little ones?
I think resilience, be sincere with your work. If you are legal profession is not for the faint-hearted, I would say. It takes a lot of resilience. It's not easy, especially litigation. Litigation is basically where you are practicing, you're not doing any job. It's like a freelancing. So you are taking on cases on like a daily basis. You are dealing with clients and you go and argue in court. Especially if you want to practice litigation, it is not easy. You have to be very, very resilient. You have to keep yourself updated with all the new cases, what is happening, and you have to invest yourself in this. You have to be very, very sincere from the very beginning. uh, Law profession is something that I would say it is one of the pillars of democracy, I would say. uh, because if there is no law, there is no right. And as lawyers, we have been entrusted with a very big role in our society, that is to defend people, be it defending the accused or the complainant, defending people's rights, defending people's right to representation. And youngsters should be thinking about coming into law. Youngsters who are thinking about coming into law should take that seriously and be sincere about and coming into this profession, I would say. It might look all rosy, but it's not like the series Suits. It's anything but that. It's more like Jolly LLB, I would say. But it's a profession that it's very rewarding.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for giving us a clarity. Dear ma'am, till now or till date, your proudest accomplishment. Did you ever experience the wow moment in your life based on your profession?
I think my proudest accomplishment relating to work would be when I got an acquittal. It was so I was doing this appeal, like I was arguing this appeal in a murder case where this person has been convicted for life. And um, yes, so this person has been wrongly convicted and he had already suffered in jail for, I think, 7 years. And I was arguing his appeal and he got an acquittal from High Court, saying that there was not enough evidence against him to convict him. So I think I would say definitely one of my proudest moment, because I do realize, like, this person when he came and told me that going from imagining a life behind the bars for the rest of his life, there is no hope. You are in a situation that is hopeless because you know your life is done. You are never coming out. You're never seeing things. You're never seeing your family. You're never getting to experience all the things that humans are supposed to experience. And because of this, he gets to experience that. It's like it was a new life to him. And that is something I would say definitely touched me because I did not see it that way. I saw it just as another case that I had to argue and win and defend my client. But when he did tell me that you have given me a new life, I mean, obviously, I did not give him a new life. He had a good case, but it was definitely, I would say, a very warm moment for me.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that anecdote. Thank you very much. Are you also in love with pets? Like you're in love with your profession, you're so passionate about your profession. Do you have time for pets too?
I love pets. I love both dogs and cats and every other animal there is, but unfortunately, my mom says that I am enough in the home. She doesn't have space for two. So no dogs or cats for now, but I do love pets. I pet every animal I see on the road.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, how many languages are you conversant in?
I'm fluent in four, I would say. Yeah, Bengali, Hindi, English, Urdu. I started learning a little bit of French, but just the basics. Arabic also, I started learning just the basics, but yeah, I cannot speak them very well.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, this is an imaginary question. Imagine you have a time machine in hand,
Yes.
give you one, and you're supposed to click a button, and that takes you into the past era. There you have to go and relive somebody's life and come back again. If this is the case, whose life you would love to relive and come back?
Relive. If I do go back, would it change the timeline in future? Like, would I be able to make different choices on behalf of that person?
Yes, ma'am, it could be.
Ah, I think maybe I would like to go back and live life as Hitler and make different choices. I mean, maybe a lot of the conflicts won't happen. The World War II, all this. Yeah.
Beautiful answer, ma'am. Excellent. It's really very nice. Much appreciated. Dear ma'am, now there's a question like this that comes up. When one should approach a lawyer or an advocate? When is the right time? Because there are many people who don't take the step immediately. They will suffer, and then they come out and then they want to take legal action against either the family member or friend or what the situation. Sometimes it is on the spot, but sometimes they don't come immediately for legal help. So when it is the right time to seek legal advice?
I think people are just in general, I feel like they are scared of approaching a lawyer because there's a lot of taboo around regarding the legal field and how long it takes and everything. I think the first time a person thinks about hiring a lawyer is the time that they should be consulting a lawyer because usually people wait for years. Like they think like, oh, maybe should I consult with a lawyer, and then they have this waiting period, or maybe I can suffer a little bit more. I would say talking to a lawyer won't hurt. It's not like going to a lawyer doesn't necessarily mean that you will be filing a case or you will be filing a complaint. You can just go and talk to a lawyer to see what are your options available to you. What are the things that is, what are your rights? Because a lot of people are just not aware of their rights. They do not know that, yes, this is something that I can do, this is how I can approach, or this person is not allowed to do this to me. I have a legal remedy to this. I think just talking to a lawyer, just consulting a lawyer once would make a person very much aware of the things that is available to the resources that is available to them. I think everybody should talk to a lawyer once in their life. I think the early on the better.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear ma'am. Dear ma'am, what type of changes do you see in the legal system or maybe in any other area in the next 50 years? What kind of changes do you want to see?
I hope the law would be more easily accessible to everybody. I think it is becoming more and more, it is coming more online. There are live streaming. Obviously, there are downsides of these live streamings. The media trial and everything comes into place. But I feel like the more the law is accessible to people, the more people can see there is this transparency. People are becoming more aware, and that is something that I would like to see. I would like to see everything more online. I would like to see our executive role, that is the police, acting on things that has to be, doesn't require, let's say, the complainant being present in the police station. Online FIRs, they have already started doing this, but I would like to see that happening in more in practical life, where things would be just easily accessible to people. It would be more, the resources would be more readily available. People would know their rights more. There would be more functions, machineries available, tools available for laymen to easily access the legal field. Yes.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your time. We have a small segment called as the rapid fire round. If you permit me, I'll take another 5 to 10 minutes, please.
Sure, of course.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. My dear friends, we are connected with a wonderful advocate. She is Miss Afreen Begum from Kolkata, West Bengal. We've got to know about her profession and how she is into this beautiful profession of transforming lives, enabling people to live in a beautiful way. And of course, fighting for the right cause and for justice, peace and justice. Let's get to know about her likes and dislikes on the rapid fire round. Ma'am, the rapid fire round requires you to answer either in one word, 2 words, or maximum in a sentence. It's a brief round. Yes, dear.
Okay.
And you should share the answer that comes quickly to your mind. We start with
Okay.
your
Okay.
favorite breakfast.
Omelette.
Among all the 12 months, your favorite one.
December.
Favorite number.
14.
Favorite day of the week.
Wednesday.
Tea or coffee.
Neither.
The insect you don't like.
Cockroaches.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Night owl.
Salty, sweet, spicy, or sour food?
Spicy.
Life is all about money or happiness?
Both.
Do you believe in second chances?
Definitely.
You consider yourself to be, I should be asking you this or no, because I already know the answer. Introvert, extrovert, or ambivert?
Extrovert.
You believe in socializing or me time? What would you prioritize?
Both is important.
Yes. When you're all alone, you have no gadgets with you, not a book, no pen, paper, nothing. You're just sitting on a chair in a room with nothing to do. You're connected to your thoughts then. Where do your thoughts take you? Past, present, or future?
Present mostly. That would lead to future.
You'd like to unwind on a beach or a forest?
Forest.
Is it song or dance?
Dancing.
Fusion dance, or is it like any specific classical dance of India?
Any kind of I feel like dancing is a beautiful form of relaxing and expressing yourself.
Yes, dear. You like to walk, ride a two-wheeler, or drive a four-wheeler?
Drive a four-wheeler.
You would prioritize reading or music if given a choice to select anyone?
Reading. I think reading, but I do listen to music as well. Yes.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, do you like ice creams?
I love ice creams.
Your favorite flavor?
Coconut.
Oh, great. Your favorite season? I guess I know this too.
Winter.
Yeah.
Winter.
Yes. Yeah. You love to travel by land? I mean, roadways, railways, waterways, or airways?
Airways, because I like to travel to new countries.
Yes. Is it a city, a little town, or a village that appeals to you?
I think depends on the place. I would take any. I just love traveling.
Ma'am, this answer is to be given in just one word to this given question. Just only one word. A beautiful day or a perfect day, just in one word. How would you describe that in one word? Ek sundar sa din.
Warm, warm,
Oh, that's really nice.
where I feel warm. My heart is full.
That's really nice. Apart from being a professional, ma'am, a wonderful one at that, a great one at that, do you also, or have you learned this life skill, cooking,
Yes, I used to cook in UK.
a
I
survival
had
skill?
to. My friends love. My friends used to love my cooking. My Turkish friend, my Nigerian friend, my Kuwaiti friend, my Bangladesh. Everybody would come when I'm cooking. They used to love my food.
What's the special recipe you're good at, ma'am?
I used to make this rice curry and this flavored rice. Sorry, the chicken flavored rice that they absolutely loved. And also, I'm really great at making this beef curry that they loved. My Turkish friend was obsessed with it.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, the name of your favorite teacher or sir, either at school or college.
Ah, there's so many. There's this professor called Ochina ma'am in college. That was used to be my. She was really nice. And my professor in UK, Matthew Garrett, he's the head of the terrorism department in the UN. When I was there, he was very nice. Yeah, he was very encouraging. He was my favorite.
Yes, dear. What is that one thing that the world doesn't know about Afreen Begum?
Oh, that is possibly. I think that should be a secret.
Okay, yeah, that's really nice. Yes, I love that smile. What makes you smile? How often do you smile, and
So
what is
many.
that? Yes, yes, please.
I'm always smiling. I think there is life has given me a lot to smile about. My friends, my family, people around me, my work. Yeah, there's so many things to smile about. There are so many good things surrounding us that we should be happy and grateful about.
Yes, dear. Your favorite color?
My favorite color, I think right now I'm obsessed with pink, Barbie core.
Yes. Ma'am, with regard to forgiving others, how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't hold grudges. I would give myself a 10. I forgive people, but I don't forget.
Yes. Is there anything that scares you, ma'am?
Not being able to do the things, not being able to make a mark before I die.
Yes. Is there anything that makes you angry?
Injustice.
Any weakness?
Weakness. I would say not knowing when to let go of things. I feel like I tend to hold on to a lot of uh, things until I have reached that point where I cannot hold on to any anymore.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, is it comfort or style?
Both. I think I consider myself to be fashionable. I do prioritize fashion, but yes, comfort is very important to me as well.
Any phobias, ma'am?
No, that I can think of. No.
Yes. Dear ma'am, when you feel low, we all feel low on certain days. When you feel low, but you have to get up, face the world. You have to get up and face your work. You have to move out of your bed and go out of your home. From where do you get
Yes.
that strength on those days when you feel low?
I remember this very beautiful quote. It says, if the hurt comes, so will the happiness. I think at times when I'm feeling very hurt or not good about myself, I always tell myself that tomorrow is a new day. What you are feeling right now, you won't be feeling tomorrow. So life is worth living. And
Yes, dear. Do you have any regrets spending money on anything and say, oh, why did I spend my money on that?
oh, constantly, I'm a spender. I'm constantly spending money, and I I love shopping as well. So yeah, I do question a lot. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? But I think it's fine. Money is something that will come and go, but something that brings us and joy is important.
Yes, dear. If I were to offer you an apple and a samosa as well, and you have to choose one, what would you choose?
Apple in fruit?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Depends on my mood, to be honest. Usually, probably samosa. I'm not very fruit person, I would say.
Yes. Dear ma'am, you believe in experiential learning or theoretical learning?
Experiential, definitely.
Yes, dear. Till date, the precious gift you ever received?
Um, I'm a huge fan of Taylor Swift. So one of my friends, he gifted me this uh, concert tickets to Jingle Bell Ball in London, O2 Arena in 2019, where Taylor Swift was headlining. I think that was one of the most thoughtful gifts I have ever received. It was very
That's
nice.
so nice. That's really nice. Dear ma'am, we have a request now. You have to give us 3 gifts before we end the session for today. The 3 gifts would be 3 beautiful words from your side, which could create magic in our lives, apart from the original 3 magical words, that is please, sorry, and thank you. Apart from these,
Okay.
we always put in a little request to all our celebrities on the International Fab Talks to share 3 magical words that could enrich and empower us.
Gratitude, kindness, empathy.
Gratitude, kindness, and empathy. Thank you.
Empathy.
Yes,
Yes.
dear.
Thank
Thank you very much, ma'am. We've had a wonderful time with you. You had a lot of, knowledge which you shared with us. I mean, wisdom. The way you spoke of different aspects, you have a lot within you, and at such a young age, you're able to, reach here. There are several young women who have lost it. They have not reached to where they have to reach this height. So I think you are a great
you.
example, a role model to many of the young women out there, and of course the younger ones too, uh, to learn to fight it and be
I
resilient.
have
What I love about you is being resilient.
true. True. I also feel like I'm very privileged than a lot of young women out there who are not as blessed as me. And I just wish we all lived in a world where everybody were treated fair and received equal opportunities, because there's so many young women out there who would have probably excelled and in their field and are so talented, but cannot show that because of society and circumstances and families and so on. It's very sad but true.
Yes, dear. Thank you for being so polite and humble, ma'am. You're one good soul. I'm sure you're an angel amongst all of us. Stay like this and stay blessed and continue to be a part of the International Fab Talks. Thank you so much for sharing your time. Much, much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was really nice chatting with you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, dear. My dear friends, with this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. Thank you for being a part of our journey. If you like what we are doing, you could connect with us, bond with us, like, subscribe, and share this video. Let it reach the right kind of people. Let it inspire people across the world. Stay safe and stay blessed.